Did you see that post?
People are talking.
Here's what's trending on the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
According to Flinders University, study sexy Instagram influencers can impact the moods and body images of other women. And in a recent survey, women between the ages of 17 and 25 were asked to look at proactive lingerie and bikini photos and then take a survey regarding their body satisfaction.
So according to a professor at the university, the results reveal that exposure to sexualized images led to an even greater negative mood, body dissatisfaction, and appearance compared to exposure to standard fashion images of influencers. Now, in turn, experts are advocating for stricter regulations regarding influencer advertising. A professor says the most obvious implication is that women should be advised to limit their exposure to such images.
So joining us this morning, we have a relationship expert and therapist, Spirit. Good morning, Spirit.
Good morning, family. How we doing?
Hey, we're doing good. We are happy to have you. So let's get into it. What are your thoughts on the effects of social media and how it influences the self-esteem of women?
Well, listen, Rickey, it is horrible, and that's part of the reason why we have all of this anxiety, all of this depression, all of this sadness, and loving ourselves backwards. And what I mean by that is we have to recognize that we are creating a lifetime of regret by being in relationships with ourselves where we hate the current version of ourselves, and then we spend all of this time wishing that we could get back to our 10-year-ago body, our 20-year-ago body. We're in love with our teenage bodies, and we are not in love with who we are. And then we get to a point where when we look back, we go, you know what? I wasn't even that bad back then. I'm over here doing all of these things to myself, tucking and cutting and sucking and all these other things, shooting all of these things into my body, not loving where I am. And then when I look back, I recognize, man, I was beautiful back then. But part of that is just like you're saying, with these trauma bonds, we have got to stop curating trauma bonds on our timeline. We are following accounts that make us feel less than. We are reading these comments of these folks who are just trying to slide into folks' DMs and get lucky for tonight. We are letting these algorithms charge us and help us pay people to make us feel miserable. So we have to be careful. And when we're looking at these images more than anything, we have to realize that we are watching highlights of infomercials. These are not people's real lives. These filters, these 60 takes to get one photo, these edited and chopped up videos that are trying to sell you things where you don't even recognize people are taped into stuff, people are clipped into stuff, people are sitting up in miserable households. They are as anxious and depressed as you. We are not seeing the real image of who people are, and we are letting that dampen our image of ourselves.
Oh, my God, Spirit.
That was a mouthful right there.
I know, right?
I'm trying to tell you because, listen, so many of our women are walking around hurt, depressed, feeling undesirable, unworthy, unlovable, and less than because they are not seeing the beauty in themselves based upon all of this selling that they don't even realize is happening to them. We are allowing people to sell us misery because they are selling us a fantasy of what we think a reality is that doesn't even exist.
So, Spirit, is that body dysmorphic disorder?
Body dysmorphic disorder is when you look at yourself and you don't see the reality of yourself. So you may be sitting at a size 10 or 14 believing that you look like you are a size 22. Or you may be sitting at a 22 and be just as fine as all get out, thinking that everything is wrong with you. And the only thing that you can see when you look in the mirror is everything that is a problem instead of everything that makes you beautiful and unique.
So how would you say that women can shift their mindset? Because there is a balance between wanting to sincerely improve yourself in terms of your health and, aesthetically, you may get the benefits of that. Versus looking at other women and feeling like you need to measure up. How do you find that balance?
What I would say is pay attention to the experts. What you need to do is get your care team in front of you. Talk to actual doctors. Talk to actual nutritionists. Talk to actual personal trainers and look at where you are and what is reasonable and realistic for you. And then the other part of that is make sure that you are adding people to your team that help you feel your absolute best. Don't try to put yourself in a size 2 if you would look amazing in a size 8. And recognize that what is best for you has nothing to do with the people that are standing next to you. And while you're so busy focused on how everybody else is looking at you, please understand nobody is paying attention to you because they're too busy being insecure about themselves.
Oh, my God. Do men go through this, Spirit?
Absolutely, because we're all walking around wanting to be chosen. And here's the thing. When I talk to you about these trauma bonds, we're so busy wanting to be chosen that we're walking around trying to make people recognize or think that they're the problem instead of us. So we have all of these men who are walking around trying to tell women what they need to do in order to get themselves together, when really the reality is we all need to be doing our own work because we are all struggling.
And you know what, Spirit? I tested. This is such a good conversation because for me as a fitness trainer, when I'm on social media, you know, I'm sharing fitness posts. But one day I decided, I said, you know what? Let me show some of my loose skin and my stretch marks, you know. So I showed the difference between posing for Instagram and like what you look like when you're actually breathing. And that post probably got the most engagement. So many women were saying, oh my gosh, I feel so seen. And, you know, they were almost relieved, you know.
Come on, Maria.
Yeah, I totally feel you on that.
To your point, the number of women who are out here advertising in all of these outfits to say, listen, all you need to do is drink this or take this supplement or do this. And what they're not telling you, because I'm seeing them in the office as my clients, they're not telling you about the surgery that they had. They're not telling you about what they have on underneath that has them tucked and sucked and pulled so tight they can't breathe. They're not telling you how miserable they are and that they're not eating and that their blood pressure is through the roof and that their nutritional deficiencies are through the roof and that their mental health is a mess because of all of the things that they're doing. So we have to focus on our wellness. We have to focus on loving ourselves. And if you're not doing your work, if you're not in that therapy, you need to make it happen.
So, Spirit, social media has really got, and I guess apparently so, because people are so obsessed with pictures, right?
Mm-hmm.
A woman will walk up to me and ask for a picture before she even speak, and it irritates the living hell out of me. Like you're just so obsessed, like you missed the whole point. I said, ma'am, let's start over. I said, ma'am, how are you? Oh yeah, I just want to get a picture. I said, ma'am. I said, ma'am, how are you? Oh no, I just I got to get this picture. Like obsessed.
And here's the thing.
Won't even
when we see the pictures, we don't recognize how many pictures they've taken in order to get that quote-unquote perfect shot that they still throw filters on. Sometimes people are taking 50, 60, 100, 200 pictures in order to have that single picture that they're posting up. To advertise to you, to buy that outfit, to wear that makeup, to go get this procedure done, to buy this tea. We have to recognize that we are watching infomercials on social media. We are not watching real life.
And for real secure man, after you on a date, if you take more than one picture of yourself, I'm done. When you stick that wrist out in the car, snapping pictures of yourself or whatever, and you can't put that phone down, that's a wrap for me.
Well, how about you take a picture like you having the time of your life, but then you go right back to being miserable. You smile like it's on and popping, and then you go back to fighting with your partner.
Yes, I've seen it. Yep.
Come on.
Spirit, this is the realest thing we ever heard. I mean, like, you laid some stuff out. And so what do you suggest if somebody might be that affected by social media or folks that just can't put their phone down?
If you can't put your phone down, make sure that your phone is feeding you. You have curated your social media timelines. Now may be the time to go back and refresh. Unfollow those pages that don't make you feel good. Unfollow those pages that make you feel less than. What do you want to set your intention on? How do you want to feel? Aim for inspiration and aspiration. And we're talking about people who will show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. When Maria talks to you about showing you the stretch marks and the extra skin, recognize that that's what makes us all human. So you follow people who are showing you the real, not the people who are showing you the fantasy that nobody can live up to, not even them.
All right, y'all. Spirit, thank you so much for your expertise and expanding on this topic. Let everybody know how you can be reached and how, if anybody want to come to you, let everybody know how they can follow you.
Come on, you guys can always find me at Talk 2 Spirit. It's Talk, the number 2 Spirit.